Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah! What's going on? Oh, my scallywags, nutmeggers, conversationalists all over the fruited plain. And Lord knows we can never forget about you, you ever-loving haters, right here on Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. A lot of people don't know this, but I don't like fame. When you're a kid, you love it, especially from the perspective of like idolizing certain people. When I grew up, I want to say roughly around 13, maybe even 14 years old, Run DMC were idols to me. And then I gravitated towards LL Cool J just a little while after that. And I wanted to be just as famous as those guys in a very local way. Because when you're a kid, the people you idealize young sort of set the standard for you when you grow old. And I didn't realize that until I got old enough and mature enough. Run DMC would be right in my neighborhood. And to me, they were the biggest thing on earth. And this is before the Walk This Way episode, which I have to admit made me hate them a little bit. I hate that song. I'm sorry. I just do. I know it made them the mega stars that they became, but I hate that record. I hate it. Just to get that on the record. But when I was a kid, you could walk down the street and Run DMC would be walking down the street. Walking. I'm not kidding. Walking. And I'm like, they're on TV. And here they are in Hollis, Queens. LL Cool J, same deal. He'd drive right up on the avenue. Hey, this LL Cool J. Hey, LL. Hey, man, how you doing? I'll never forget when Run DMC came out with the movie Tougher Than Leather. And off that album. And they were right at the grocery store, right next door to my apartment. And they just looked at me and they just went, hey, did you go see the movie yet? And I went, no, not yet. I plan on it. Could barely afford, but I was going to save up enough money to go see Run DMC in a movie theater. And they're standing in front of me. All three of them. Run, DMC, Jam Master Jay, just right there, hanging out. So because they were so approachable, that was, to me, what it was supposed to be like. So then you get older, and you see these people who now are untouchable. Bodyguards all around them. Paparazzi. Click, 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 click. You know, their hands holding up. It's weird for me as a person growing up, getting older, trying to figure out. I thought the whole idea was to be approachable, to have, for people to have access to you because they've invested in you. They've truly given of themselves to you. Like you gave them something and in exchange, you treated them like you had really done it for them. Like I put out this record, I put out this album, or I did this movie. I'm on this TV show. Thank you so much for liking what I do. Thank you so much for liking the character that I play. Of course, I'd shake your hand, take a picture with you. Hey, what's your name? Did you ever want to be an actor or an actress? What are your goals in life? That's what I grew up with that. Run asking me, hey, kid, what do you do in school? It's like, what do I do in school? That's a weird question to ask me. I learned. Yeah, but what do you want to learn? I'm like, is Run DMC asking me what I want to learn? That's insane. Well, sure, Mr. Run. At the time, I wanted to be an architect. Don't ask me why. It's a long Brady Bunch story. But I did. And he's talking to me. And I grew up understanding that relationship. Maybe it's just me. I know a lot of other people have had experiences like this, and it's been different. But that's the cloth I'm cut from. And because I started off with that relationship, my life went on that way with anyone I saw on television. Was that I didn't have to treat them like they were so far away, that they were distant, above me. I treated them like they were everyday people, and I understood their role. But then when the celebrity really started to get to people's heads, I revolted. I became somewhat disgusted by the display. You really don't understand what your role is, do you? You do get the idea that you're an entertainer. In many ways, believe it or not, you serve me. Right? Because you're nothing if not in the service of us. Like, how do you bankroll? How do you get all of your money? It is through us. We have to appreciate what you do in order for you to be rich or famous or popular. You also have to provide a good product. There's an exchange here. I don't know how many groups have come out with horrible albums that I had to say, yeah, no thanks. Sure enough, after a while, I stopped listening to their music. I reveled in the old days when they were actually worth listening to. Maybe caught a video or two online. Oh, I remember when they mattered. But now they don't. That's why the product usually sucks. Because they don't put any effort in. You start to realize that their poo doesn't stink. And they can just put out any old garbage. And then they wonder, where'd all the fans go? Hey, what happened? Where'd you go? We've deserted you because you deserted us. And then something else happened. I moved myself away from the music area, who's this, what hip-hop artist is that, and all that. I walked away from all that nonsense. And I started following politics and news. And I started to notice that there was something that changed there. See, I grew up with the likes of Ernie Anastas. I grew up with the likes of Peter Jennings, Tom Brokaw. Hell, even Dan Rather. There was a time when those guys were like pillars of the news. And I relied on them in the evening news to tell me what was going on around the country and in the world. I even watched some of their specials on prime time. I said, Tom Brokaw, he's going to be on. I got to watch Tom Brokaw. Oh, Peter Jennings. I like Peter Jennings. He's really, really smart and witty. And then you meet them. You find out they're a bunch of worms and jerks. Oh, they say never meet your heroes, but I guess there's a reason that saying exists. And then when I moved on from the news anchors, I started really, really following politics. Then I started actually meeting politicians, having conversations with them. Off the record, behind the scenes. And I realized These people are worms and jerks, too. Jesus, they're the worst. They're worse than the celebrities. And the reason why they're worse is because they have power. Allegedly. And they could do whatever they want with your lives. They are the ruling class. And imagine what happens to a person who can't sing, who can't dance, who can't act, becomes a politician. No real talent. The only real talent he has, if any, is his ability to lie and to BS. That he has turned into an Academy Award performance. And my bitterness grew deeper and deeper for those folks. And then I got a little bit of education and started to realize we don't have to put up with this nonsense. We don't have to put up with any of this nonsense because they don't rule anything. They serve us. That's right. Just like your favorite rapper or singer or actor. Their job is to dance, monkey. Do another somersault. Yes, play my favorite tune. Get out there and spin around and show me a pirouette. Get it right now. That's right. I mean, it was designed this way. It always was. But the problem was never been them. The problem's been us. The problem was always us. You see, I want to blame them. It is easy to blame them. But we are responsible. We are the ones who give people that kind of power. We are the ones who give those people that kind of say-so. If we treat them like kings, they will behave. Wow, look at them. Look at the way they're treating me, the way that they bow down when I arrive. They're so smitten with me, they tell their good friends. Oh, and trust me, they do. Did you see the way that woman was fawning all over me? I bet you she would have. Yeah, I've seen it. I've heard it. They've gotten full of themselves. And that's on us. That's on every one of us. So it's difficult now to tell every one of us that we are in control, that we are the ones who have power, that we must say to them, hey, dude, dudette, guy, gal, pronoun, whatever, you work for me. You answer to me. And when you hear these people or see these people react, when you tell them strongly, I don't know if you get this, but you are here to serve. So get on it. It's like dealing with a child you just told to clean their room. I had a conversation yesterday with one of the folks who works down at the Secretary of State's office, the Secretary of the State, Dan Haar. Stephanie Thomas's office. I guess the kid is some communications guy, clearly young, wet behind the ears. He's never been told no. Felt very much like he's always been in control. I work for the Secretary of the State. I've got my own business card and my own office. That's right. And when people want to get to the Secretary of the State, they've got to get through me. Yeah, he got a little bit of Reese on the radio yesterday. I hope he's listening. God bless you, kid. God bless you. I want to skip ahead a little bit. I'll tell you the context of the conversation. But at the the end of the conversation, he was saying this, and I quote, dumbest thing you can say to Reese. I'm a big boy. Oh, that sounds like you're going to cry after this phone call. If you have to tell me, you have to tell me. But I asked him a series of questions yesterday. Most important about the statement released, or at least the fundraising email released by Stephanie Thomas. I asked a simple question. Hey, why haven't you guys contacted the police about these death threats? Oh, and if the social media sites have taken them down, that means you witnessed those social media posts that were taken down. What was the nature of those posts that were taken down? His response to me was, next question. And I said, I'm sorry? You wrote in a letter that you saw death threats, many of which were taken down. What was the context of those death threats? What were they threatening? They want to skin her alive? They want to hang her? What do they want? Next question. I don't understand. You wrote a letter saying that this woman doesn't know what she's being threatened, but you do. You saw them. You posted them. You guys haven't called the police? These are credible threats, right? You are one of the highest elected officials in the state. You didn't call the police at all? These are death threats. These are criminal charges. You didn't call anybody? Next question. I can't believe you're asking me these questions. I mean, I can answer any question, but, I think you're just being so rude. I don't know what you're talking about, young man, but here's the deal. You work for me. Do you not understand that? You work for the state of Connecticut. You serve us. You owe us answers. We want them. Do you not? What is it you don't get about that? Please tell your boss they answer to us. We're members of the media. We wish for answers. That's why we ask them. You give them to us. This isn't a we negotiate for answers. You owe us that. You put out these statements. Give us answers to these questions. What are you not getting? And then he gave me the best line ever. Could you send the questions in an email and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible? Yeah! Great answer, kid. Great answer. Great answer. Which in essence was nothing more than send us your questions. We'll work out a couple of lies for you and get back to you when we're done lying. Don't worry, kid. I'm not sending you an email. Please don't look for one. Don't hold your breath. I'm just going to do one better. I'm just going to get rid of your office. I'm going to get a new guy in there. I'm going to actively work to make sure that we unseat Stephanie Thomas in every way possible. So, here's looking at you, kid. God bless you. We'll be back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
All right, we're back. Reese on the radio here. Scallywags in the building. AQ is in the house. It's Alex Q. I think I'm just shortening your name. AQ, Kelly, good afternoon to you as well. Brett in the house. Christy, hello, Christy. Thank you for the kind words you said on X. I appreciate you. Scott Dubb, I don't know where you can find this shirt. I bought it in Sterling, Virginia a couple of years ago, and I haven't worn it in quite a while, but I love this. In fact, just to give you a little insight, because I won't say what the shirt says on the air, because it's got an expletive in it, but it's taken out. So I went to an AA meeting convention in North Carolina, and I wore this at the meeting convention. So it's about meetings, so I was wearing this shirt, which they loved. That's kind of, it's really meant for it's an office T-shirt. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, Elaine as well, Michael A. and Michael B. Also Scallywags in the chat room. So if you want to join the chat room, please do so. Just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. You can join us on X, join us on Facebook, or on YouTube to join the conversation. Vin Candelora sent a letter to Stephanie Thomas's office. And it was about the false statements, provably false statements made by the Secretary of the State, saying that the woman was under threat, saying that images were manipulated in the reporting of the July 13th crash and the information given. And Stephanie Thomas wrote back. House Minority Leader Vin Candelora sent the letter to me. It reads, Dear Representative Candelora, thank you for reaching out regarding the video statement released by our office. I respectfully dispute the fact that I shared false information. As shared in the enclosed sampling of screenshots, an innocent Connecticut resident was wrongfully linked to a crime she had no part in, doxxed, and exposed to hostile commentary that included numerous calls for her death. The death penalty. The death penalty. Just because the woman is unaware of these threats does not make them untrue. Well, there you have it, folks. What argument do we have left? Just because the woman doesn't see these as threats or doesn't know anything about them doesn't make them untrue. Because Stephanie Thomas says so. I said she's under threat. She's being threatened. Her life is in harm's way. So much so, my office has not contacted her, has not contacted the authorities, or led them to the perpetrators of the crime. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know about Stephanie Thomas, her character, how disingenuous she is, how much she clearly doesn't care about this so-called victim. She has done nothing to reach out to her. She has not given her any police protection. She has not given her, safe harbor. She hasn't protected her. Should she be in the witness protection program? There are people out there who think that she is the woman who's in jail. Some Nimrod out there thinks that Melissa Ramirez is out living in New Britain and not locked up like the news reported. Because don't forget, the governor and Stephanie Thomas says, don't believe the news either. Right? Can't believe anybody. Except them. They are telling the truth. While you have requested that our video statement be corrected, or retracted, doing so would send the wrong message. The video serves, and this is the most important part, this is all you need to know. All right, this next line, folks, is why I know either Stephanie Thomas, her staff, or all of them are dumb as rocks. I mean, they are not professional and could very well be just idiots. Next line. The video serves as an urgent call for members of our communities to stop rushing to judgment and avoid spreading misinformation. Speaking out against reckless public discourse is a duty I take seriously. Now, she is calling this reckless public discourse is a duty she takes seriously. Now, what is she saying about these so-called death threats now? Does she not understand that death threats are a crime? That she is now depicting them as reckless public discourse? She's minimizing the thing that she called criminal? And then has the nerve to talk about misinformation? Your story has changed 5 times. Madam Secretary, you can't keep up with your bull. But that's okay. We keep score here. Ask my ex-wives about that. I'm really good at it. If the goal of your inquiry is to ensure the dissemination of accurate and responsible information, I respectfully point out that your own online postings, which initially helped propagate the false link between the two unrelated individuals, remain active online without clarification or correction. A brief review of social media just this morning revealed at least 5 state legislators, including yourself, and countless town committees still have the July 29th Connecticut House Republicans press release up on their pages that falsely links the two individuals, allowing uncorrected, misleading claims to remain published while demanding the removal of a message urging caution and accuracy is counterproductive. Well, hold on here. Because we checked. Stephanie, we checked. And the Danbury Police Department has updated nothing with regards to the driver's license on the warrant. And they've had far more than the 11 days from the accident to the warrant's issue. That has never been changed. Oh, and by the way, there has been no additional charges for driving without a license added, even though the prosecutor said they may. They still haven't. Why not? Now, I don't expect the Melissa Ramirez, allegedly, of New Britain to come forward, show herself, and prove that she is who she is. Many people don't really believe it. I don't want to say any names. Adam 12. He doesn't mind that I say it. But until that day, no one believes you. And nobody believes the Danbury Police Department. Like it or not, folks, you started this. So Vin Candelora, Rob Sampson, Cara Pavolak D'Amato, and a host of others, the Connecticut Sentinel, Blue Lives Matter. No. We will take down nothing. And it's okay if you keep your video up. I want it there. I want you to keep promoting the lie that the woman received death threats. Keep promoting it. Because remember, she got death threats even though she doesn't see them, even though she hasn't experienced them. I want you to keep up there that she's receiving death threats and you've done nothing to ensure her safety. It took us to do that. We had to put out a welfare check on Melissa Ramirez of New Britain, not you. You prompted us to do the legwork that you didn't bother to do. You were quick to use her name. You were quick to go out there and victimize her, even more so, by saying she was receiving death threats when indeed she was not. And then don't even follow up with her. You don't even get her to a safe space. You don't even, call the authorities. Forward them information that would lead to the arrest of those who were threatening her life. Your words, not ours. See, I look at this in a very simple way. And that is, there are people who are dumb and there are people who are not. There are people who are slow and there are people who are not. You guys are in the slow and dumb category because you keep opening your mouth about this and the answers get dumber. And I love the fact that you want time to read our questions, go over them, and huddle up with your team for the best response. I told you a couple of days ago, you want to stick with this? Fine. That's okay. Stay with the ridiculous story. We're not letting it go until we get the answers that we want. And I only want one. And that's going to come sooner than you think. You know, as Thanos said, I guess I'm just going to have to do it myself. Someone's going to tell me why this mistake happened, if indeed it was. And if I got to drive my behind all the way down to Danbury to get it, I will. Because it is a simple question. Somebody has the answer to it. And it's really weird that people don't want to answer a simple question, and that is, how did the driver's license get on the warrant? How did it get there in the first place? And why does it remain? Maybe it's nothing. I mean, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. We'll be back. It's Reese on the radio.
It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
All right, coming up in the program, we got a lot of stuff to get to. We're going to take your phone calls roughly around 4 o'clock, asking the question, what are your primary predictions? I've got a few. Not a lot, but I have a few. And I know the one that everyone's going to be paying attention to because it has a lot of tension involved. And, of course, that is the primary in District 5 between Jonathan DeBarros and Chris Shea. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit today, just from my point of view. Let me say this. This is important that I get this out ahead of time so that when you hear my point of view, you don't freak out, okay? There are going to be some things on either side you're not going to like about me, okay? Chris Shea and Jonathan DeBarros, about this race that you're not going to like. And I'm smart enough to know that what I'm doing can kick a hornet's nest, but I'm also the kind of guy who doesn't give a rat's behind. Because facts are facts, and every bit of facts there are challenges. There's risks to that, and I get it. And, you can ask people not to get emotional. Don't get emotional. It doesn't matter. Some people are just going to be emotional. So stay tuned for that. I think I'm going to bring it up roughly at about 3:30. I'll get into some of the primary stuff. But if you got some primary predictions at about the 3:30 hour, give us a call and let us know. That's 12:30 on the West Coast. If you are listening and you want to say something about it online, go to reasonoradio.com. Curmudgeon says that the license number is going to stay there. No, I'm well aware of that. I'm well aware that the license number is going to stay there, but there needs to be an investigation as to how it got there. That's the whole deal. Worst off, Curmudgeon, if I can go so far as to talk about this driver's license thing the most, and this is the part that bothers me, okay? And Curmudgeon, he's in law enforcement. I know who he is. And this is the part that bothers me. So as a journalist, I can't ask you to go into the database and put in that driver's license number to tell me what you see. If you did it on your own with that information, you'd get a rip for it. You'll get in trouble for it. Because you have to be looking that up in the process of a vehicle stop, right? You can't just look that up randomly. And if they search the database and find out that you did, they'll immediately want to know why you did, right? Especially if it's out of your jurisdiction. So what I want is again, all I want is it's simple and plain. Take the drive. I want to be able to do this just as a journalist, as I'm trying to get information as so I can report it to the people, which I think that I have a right to get. If the wrong driver's license ended up on this warrant, why can't I get to see what the police officer saw that led him to keep it on there for 11 days? Okay? And never once in any affidavit, any that we've seen, say, oh, that's interesting. When I got to the hospital and I saw the perpetrator or the alleged defendant in the hospital, that the information I got from NCIC didn't match the physical person that I saw. It doesn't show up anywhere. So I'm troubled by that. Like, why can't we see what the officer saw? when he looked it up. Because at least that would... You want to talk about getting rid of all of the innuendo or the speculation or the conspiracy? That's it. Just give me that, and I'll let it go. But we have to know. We have to know. And the only way we're going to know is by seeing that. So I don't know why it isn't accessible to the media. Do I have to get a warrant for it? I mean, not a warrant, sorry. Do I have to get a FOIA, a subpoena for it? Like, am I going to have to sue the police department to deliver that? Like, what am I going to do? It just seems weird. Anyway, I don't know. It just bothers me. Anyway, coming up in the program, we went to go see the boy in Boston, and he and a lot of his friends hate Israel. They just do. That's kind of the thing that young people do now. It's sort of some rite of passage. They're all sitting around talking about how evil Israel is. And they love throwing around the word genocide when it comes to Gaza. And when you push back on them, all they keep talking about is the babies. The babies. The babies. And a lot of you say that as well. What about the babies? The poor babies. What's going to happen to the babies? Did you see what happened in Massachusetts? Did you see that? Did you see the woman governor sitting there surrounded by women, writing legislation to kill the babies? Did you see it? I saw it. But yet, not a peep out of any of you, huh? Not one. It's weird. Palestinian babies, outrage. American babies, right here. Not a squeak. We'll talk about it. Stand by. Let's get to some top of the hour news. We'll return. It's Reese on the radio.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Hey! Okay, I'll read that in a second. All right, yeah. I do know that. I thought about this, trying to figure out exactly how I was going to present this. And I'm going to be talking to some guys in Waterbury tonight. And I don't know if we're going to have an on-camera conversation about this. We may have an off-camera conversation about this. But one of the things that have always sort of driven me crazy about politics are people who use the phrase, they don't care about you. And I don't know where that comes from. I don't know who these people are who use that terminology when it comes to politics or politicians or political groups, but it's used a lot. People say that, you know, they don't care about you. They've never really cared about you. And I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, why do you use that phrase? I don't want a politician to care about me. I just want them to do what I need them to do. Right? I need them to lower my taxes. I need them to pave my roads. I need to make sure that the police are funded so they can keep my community safe. I need to make sure that when people commit crimes in my community that they get locked up and they are pulled out of polite society. In fact, that the penalties are harsh enough that another bozo doesn't think about committing the same crime. That's what I want government to do. Care about me. If they cared about me, they do the things that I want. It's that simple. It's not the other way around. I don't want them to go in there and then tell me that they care about me. Showing me that they care about me is doing the things that I like. See, here's the thing. Roseanne cares about me. I know that. Why? Because she does the things that I like. Right? All of that is based on me. Not based on her. She doesn't wake up one morning and say, I care about you. Usually I would ask her, how much? How much do you care about me? I care about this much about you. I care a great deal about you. Now imagine she had told me that. Your wife, your own husband, said to you, looked you in the eye and said, I care a great deal about you, honey, but I won't do that. Or I won't do this, I won't do that. They never, ever consider doing the things for you that you need in life. And their response to you is, but I care about you. I need you to help around the house. Yeah, I can't do that. But don't think I don't care about you, because I do. I care that bothers you, that I don't do anything around the house. I care that it bothers you that I never complete your honey-do list. You got to get something for that, right? So I don't want to hear any nonsense about I care, or they give me a little bit of this and that when they feel like it, which shows that they care. I'm not going to take a little bit and then measure that up with the other group of people who was like, well, look, this guy gave me $5, but this guy gave me nothing. So because of the $5, because of the scraps that I get, obviously they care. Do they care a lot? Well, not a lot, but they at least care a little bit. Well, what about the things that you need? Well, I wouldn't want that relationship. Especially when their job is to give you the stuff that you want, right? Like if you have an ask, you should be able to get it. That's how that works. That's how you really show you care. But since that's important to people in the African American community, I figured I'd play a couple of things that show they don't give a damn about you. And they never have. These are all really weird. Black folks, the commies don't care about you. You're in their way. You're all in their way. This is a guy by the name of William Lawrence. He's really, really deep embedded into the Communist Party. I think he's out in Michigan. Last year, he was talking about what's holding the socialists and the communists back from really making some headway in the Democrat Party. If you can believe this, folks, it's blacks.
That being said, the extent to which the older generation of black political leadership are such of a pillar, frankly, for establishment, capitalist, imperialist, American power through their role, as this kind of traditionalist, establishmentist pillar of the Democratic Party. It's a big problem. It's a big problem for left politics in this country, and it gets us every single time, and it really defangs the white left, puts us in impossible positions. Really, it's very effective politically, and so I don't know. I'm curious, but we're also seeing now that unfortunately, don't want anyone to vote for Trump, but young black people are falling away from the Democratic Party, and the support is not showing up in the same way. We'll see what happens in November. I'm curious where you think this is headed, and what the younger black left needs to do in order to change this dynamic.
So the Congressional Black Caucus is too tethered to imperialism, capitalism, all the isms that the woke white left abhors. They can't stand it. It's the blacks. They have so much power and influence in the Democrat Party. And the Democrat Party is so afraid of upsetting them, they're stopping us. They're stopping us. If you think that's bad, let's go one step further. Isn't this your boy Hassan Piker? He's everywhere with the DSA. He's out campaigning. He is out on the stump with everybody from Hong to Ali, Shahid, Muhammad, whatever his name is. He's out there with them. He's out with Bernie Sanders. He is the left's version. He's got a Rolling Stones cover that just came out. He is looking glamorous. This guy, the same guy, America deserved 9/11. He kind of pulled back from that, but still said it. By the way, you would never be allowed to just recuse those comments if they came from the likes of Donald Trump or any other, pick any Republican. He would never be able to, he would never be given a reprieve of, well, he took those comments back. It would never happen. But Hassan Piker, yeah, he could say it. Even talking about sexually assaulting your white children. Yeah, nothing on that one. But Hassan Piker, again, the guy who is palling around with all of your favorite socialists, the popular ones at that, AOC included.
I don't know what black people care about. Oh, black people care about this, black people care about that. Like, shut the up. That's not how politics works. Oh, well, Hassan, how dare you? Like it or not, black people care about this issue. It's like, it's such a fucking stupid stance. Any other black folk want to engage in radical activist language in this fucking chat? Suck my fucking... Yes, dude, it's because I'm racist. That's why. It's because I'm racist, dude. Go back to a better time when lynchings were happening. This is what I like as a black man. Are you always doing too much with black people? Leave them alone. I want to go back to lynching. Like, I get it, but relax. Man, shut the up, okay? Damn. You got me, okay? You got me, because I'm a racist person.
That's the guy who is all over the DSA. That's the guy. That's their hero. That's the guy that the left will not denounce. Remember Bernie Sanders? Remember him? I don't care. He may have said some dumb things. You've done some dumb things in your life, I'm sure. Yeah, but the blacks are a problem. Even the forehead, as Rush used to call him, Paul Begalia. Even he's got a problem, and he's realizing that the Democrat Socialists of America have a problem with blacks.
Abdul won a narrow victory, and more problematic for him, he has a narrow coalition. The socialists all say, I'm a moderate. I don't like the socialists. I can't stand them. I just want to disclose. Candor. That's great. But they always say, the socialists, that they care about the working class and about black folk. Well, I can tell you, black folk in the working class don't like the socialists. Abdul's got a lot of work to do. I talked this week, actually, one very impressive Democratic black leader in Michigan. They haven't even been contacted by Abdul yet. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. They're not reaching out to blacks at all. They don't want them. They don't. Sorry, blacks, if the Democrats are going to remember, they want young college educated leftists. And they know that blacks don't show up at the polls. Now, I warned you about this 25 years ago. I told you only 24% of registered voters show up to the polls. It's not since the Obama election you guys were overwhelmingly at the polls. But usually on election day, 24% of registered voters in the black community show up. And then you wonder why you have no political power. I tried to warn you. And guess what? Once you squandered it, it's over. You don't want to show up? Oh, my vote don't count. Sure, no problem. Guess what isn't going to count after that? You. And according to the Democratic Socialists of America, you don't count now. You're in the way. That's what you are. You're in the way. But, that's not all. The few African Americans who do celebrate socialism, as a means to pay back the rich and the wealthy, some of those folks are too stupid, and I mean too stupid, to realize they're on the wrong side of all of this. I'd like to give you a young entrepreneur who was interviewed by Nate Friedman in New York. A black man who loves socialism while he's standing out in the street engaging in capitalism by selling T-shirts and hats. This exchange will not shock you. It's par for the course. Because unfortunately, the African American community in this country is poorly educated while pretending to be smart as hell.
Socialism or capitalism in New York?
I'm definitely against capitalism.
And why is capitalism bad so that people can know about this?
I think the system is already built on the rich getting richer. I mean, the poor staying poor. I mean,
yeah. You're selling T-shirts, right? Like, how much is this T-shirt?
This one's going for
$60. Okay. You know, the mayor, governor, whatever, could come along and say that this shirt should be $40. Would you sell it for $40 then?
Absolutely not, because I make the market. If I wasn't working for myself, it's different.
If you did not hear that, he asked the young black man if he supported capitalism or socialism. And he said, definitely not capitalism, while he's engaging in the act of capitalism. Free market capitalism. And said that if the governor or the mayor came in and said that he can't sell his T-shirts for $60 and he must sell them for $40, would he be okay with that? And he said, absolutely not. Not understanding what it all means. And he says, no, because I am the market. In essence, free market capitalism. He's for, while saying he's against it. And that's how they're going to fool him. That's how they're going to fool him. I harken back to the days of COVID. I always go back to those days. COVID was a perfect example. Many people in the black community would not take the COVID vaccine, but they still wear masks today. And what does that tell you? Don't take the vaccine, but still wear a mask. That sound like well-educated folks to you? No. Still afraid. Weird. Just weird. Never made any sense to me. Now, many of you can call this cutting down black folks, but it's not for not trying to educate them. Their refusal to be educated is not on me. That's on them. I can push this as far as I want to, try to educate them all the time, but it's up to them. Take water, lead a horse to water, that whole thing. But I'm thankful that there are very few in the African American community who are signing up for the socialism thing. And if the socialists are as dumb as I think they are, I hope they alienate the hell out of the black community. I sure hope they do. And they realize that every bit of the gains that they have made, they start to recognize. That's the first thing. There's the realization that from the civil rights era to today, African Americans have gained prosperity. That they finally realize that when the socialists come and tell them all that hard work, all of that sweat, blood, and tears that they put into building something that they can leave to their children is now at the risk of being taken away by a bunch of communists, that they finally realize, oh, hell, we actually signed up with the devil. We can hope. We can only hope. I'll take one. Do I have time? Sure do. I'll take one. Let's go with Bill in Granby. How you doing, sir?
Hey, how are you? Good to hear your voice again, Reese.
My pleasure, sir. What's up?
Well, I just wanted to say that I spend a lot of time on social media sites of all kinds, focused on various cohorts of individuals, kind of studying red pill and blue pill and human behavior in general from all sides.
I like that. Okay.
So my view of the problem that the Democratic Socialists and the Communists have with black Americans is that they'll take the educated black females. There's lots of college-educated black females, and that is who they'll take them because they're buying what they're selling.
Right.
But young black men, there's a lot of educated young black men, and others that are in the trades. And they want nothing to do with any of this. They've been red-pilled. They're completely rejecting the baby mama, the single mother, head of household, baby mama culture with 2 or 3 baby daddies and 3 kids. These guys want to get married, but they don't want to marry these women and take on all of their problems. And that whole culture, the baby mama culture, is being subsidized by the state.
Yep.
And so there's kind of a bifurcation in the community as to who supports whose vote they can get and whose they can't. And they're in trouble with young black men.
Yeah, you're 100% right on this one. You listen to me. When I tell you you are so far over it, you're not way over the target. You're literally sitting an inch above it, because it is insanity that what the Democratic Socialists managed to do is the same thing LBJ did with the welfare state, right? It separated the black man from the home, from the nuclear family. Right? So these black men who are recognizing ideologically, they want to become something, they want to have something, to own something. It is innate in them, where the DSA or the socialists convince the woman to be a part of the sort of, we'll give you everything, marry yourself to the government. It is easy to influence them into that party.
100%, because they're already there from the Great Society.
Correct.
And yeah, so now they've figured out a way to help them get their degrees, and now they're educated and still married to the state. And so this makes complete sense to them. The problem is the successful, young, intelligent black men, they want to be heads of household, and they want to build lives together, and they don't want those lives to include somebody else's 2 or 3 kids. They want to build a life and build their own family, and they can't do that.
Bill, how dare they? You couldn't be more right, my friend. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Articulated perfectly. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Take care.
You got it. You too. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. We'll talk about this some more, and some more phone calls at 860-522-WTIC. It's Reese on the radio.
Spider-Man. Hey, he's your friendly neighborhood Reese on the radio. Right now on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right. Thank you. Rama's in my chat room. I loved it. He says, geez, I wouldn't pay $50 for a shirt, and I have a job. Peter says, if the gentleman wasn't selling his shirts for $50 and he realized his market was at $40, would he rather sell a boatload of shirts at $40 and not make as much money, or sell 0 at $50 and lose money? It's a great question. It's a great economics question. You know, I remember when I had to make that decision. It was, we had, as a moving company, we had this high that went up. Everybody was calling us no matter what the rate was. And of course, as we got better and our clientele got clearly better, our clientele, we were in a very nice town in Loudoun County, Virginia, which is, kind of a D.C. suburb. And the homes there are much more expensive, and the people you're competing with are guys who had movers at the rate of $60, $70 an hour per mover. And we, got up there. And all of a sudden, as the markets do, we had Biden in office. People couldn't afford to move. So I had to lower the rates. I couldn't tell the guys that they couldn't pay more. I had to take a cut. My guys were still getting paid $25 an hour. I had to take a cut on my overhead. So, just what you got to do. It's like, you got to compete. Hated it. But sure enough, when we lowered the prices, phone never stopped ringing. Had to do it. So, the market is the market, as they say. I heard this story, top of the hour news was talking about it. Why am I forgetting the guy who's in the newsroom right now? I know Cunningham. It's not Morgan Cunningham. What's the guy's name in news, Roland? Why am I forgetting his name? Who's doing the news today, filling in for John Silva? Gallagher? Brown. Bob Brown. My bad. No, Bob Brown. Usually I know Bob Brown. It's my mistake. Shapiro. Yeah, Dave Shapiro. My bad. Dave Shapiro's doing the top of the hour, and I apologize, Dave, for forgetting your name. But he talked about this story about Trump switching his plane because of an Iran threat. And can I just break this down for people? And it's one of those moments where you have to notice the elephant in the room no one wants to mention because it's there. So think about this. Donald Trump gets on Air Force One in Turkey. And then because of a threat on his life by Iran, he switches planes. He gets into a catering van, drives off, and the plane is allowed to leave. And he's gone. He's safe on another plane and comes home. And everybody's like, whoa, wait a minute. Donald Trump got on another plane when there was a threat on Air Force One and left the journalists and the staff on Air Force One? Oh, my goodness. How horrible. And I'm going, okay, are we going to state the obvious here? Can we just be honest? With all due respect. Yeah, it's messed up. I can call it that. Yeah, it's real messed up. But let's say that someone on the White House staff told the press, and I'm talking strictly to those of you on the left, what would have happened? Tell the truth. Don't play dumb. Don't play coy. We all know. What would have happened? Huh? The Iranians would have known. Because the press can't shut their damn mouth. There are members of the press who would have leaked it to make sure that Iran knew. And whatever plane he did get on was shot out of the sky. And they would have said, well, we had to report on it. It's our duty. It's our obligation to inform inform the public. That's what you would have said. We had a whistleblower who told us that the president was going to decoy us and get into another plane. We just had to report it. We couldn't sit on that. That would be inexcusable as a journalist not to report it. Right? So while there's a story in the CT Capitol report and Blumenthal's talking about he didn't alert the president. Yeah, he couldn't alert anybody. It was a death threat on the president of the United States. Like, do you not understand how that works? Like, that's the guy who has to be protected at all costs. The rest of you understand the risks. It's not like you don't know somebody's coming for the president every given day. You guys believe that he is some sort of walking and talking Satan that the world must get rid of. You reported as much. That the way the world has changed, the way the world has operated is because of this man and his mere existence. And you think that there's a death threat out there coming from a foreign regime and he shouldn't take all precautions to decoy them and leave your dumb ass on the other plane? Yeah, I'd have done it too. I wouldn't have broken a sweat. I wouldn't have broken one sweat. And that's what you have to realize. Perhaps, maybe you should consider this. Let's think about it. Perhaps the next time around, understanding the threat that the man is under, you keep your dumb ass home. How about that? You don't have to go. But we know you need to have your articles printed. You know you need to have your articles read. You know you need the prestige of covering the president of the United States. You know you need it. You know you need it. That's the risk. That's what comes with it. And when you know the man has always got someone aiming to destroy him, aiming to annihilate him, aiming to do him in. That's what comes with it. Yeah, you might be on the decoy plane. Sounds messed up, right? See, now all of a sudden we're supposed to care about you. You have no regard for him. You have no regard for his for supporters. None whatsoever. What, you think we forgot about COVID? When you guys were laughing, oh, they don't want to take the shot, let them die. Don't want to take the shot, forget about them. They shouldn't be allowed to get into the hospital. Remember, the MAGA folks deserve to die. And then we find out you're on the decoy plane and we're supposed to say, oh, no. No, don't care. Still don't care. So you're trying to make a story out of it, and I love that you are. I love that you were trying to say, but what about us? What about you? What about you? I don't care. I don't care. Now you'll rethink it, right? Maybe now you'll protect the guy. Huh? Maybe now you'll recognize the threat is so real. Everybody is at risk. That's the whole thing. That's the whole kit and caboodle. That the man doing what he's doing is going to draw ire from a lot of people. But what are you doing? Right? Are you reporting on it fairly? Are you demonizing everything that he's doing? Are you turning him into a demon every day? And then while you travel with him, look him dead in his face. While you are trying to undermine his every move, you seem to be stunned that you might be in the crosshairs too. Can I tell you what I really think, though? I'll go one step further. This bothers me to say, but I believe it. And I pray, and when I say I pray every day it doesn't happen. And I know somebody's going to call me and tell me, yo, Reese, I thought about that too. I was watching this TV show called Paradise on Hulu. What's that, guys? T.K. Williams from that show, This Is Us. And it's supposed to be an apocalyptic, dystopian future where they move about 25,000 people into a what do you call it? Into a mountain. Is that what they move them to? Roland, you watch that show, right? Paradise on Hulu. It's on Paramount now. You got to pay. I got Paramount, so I can watch it. Is the new season out yet? I noticed there've been 2 seasons so far. No, okay, no new season. Anyway, but there's a scene with James Marsden, not James, I forget his name. Yeah, he's James Marsden, the guy who plays the president of the United States. And there's a guy who's in the press corps who tries to assassinate the president. And as soon as I saw that scene, I went, ooh. It made me uncomfortable. That's the way I look at the press today. Every time I see them in a press gaggle or he's outside about to get on Marine One, I look at every one of those people and I go, which one of them is going to be there? Which one? Which one is the guy, the gal? Which one are you? Because that's what I believe. I believe that these people are so ideological, hate the president so much, argue and fuss and fight with him. I wonder which one is going to be the one that just says, that's it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to martyr myself and end our great misery. It's funny how they reacted to the fact that the president of the United States would switch planes for his own safety. And they all got up and said, what about me? What about you? We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
All right, let me go to the phones real quick. Bob is in Waterbury. How you doing there, Bob?
Good. How you doing, Reese?
I'm all right, sir.
Hey, I don't think any of the journalists complained on the plane, though. But, I mean, if they didn't like it, they can always do a John Madden. They can take the bus to wherever the president's going.
That's what I'm saying. You get to fly on Air Force One. You know, you got to know there are risks to that.
Yeah, but I know you. They all know what they're doing. Again, somebody has nothing else to say, so let's say this. You know, like they could do a John Madden stuff. Hey, take the bus, you know.
John Madden. I love it. When, you know what I never found out? How did John Madden get to Hawaii for the Pro Bowl? I never found that out.
I think he did like the A-team. They must have knocked him out. All right, Reese, we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, I never knew that. He used to joke and say, they put the bus on a boat and then they go to Hawaii. I doubt he did that. I believe he flew, but he wouldn't fly anywhere. The Madden bus, boy, did I miss that. Oh, that takes me all the way back. Yeah. That's right. Remember that the what do you call it? The White House Correspondents' Dinner? That attack didn't mean anything to them? Didn't that mean something to these folks? Wasn't that a real threat? Secret Service agent got shot. Huh? What do you think about that? Why did that happen? Again, it was everybody in that room was in danger. Just to get to one person. That lunatic, who's responsible for his radicalism? What online site was he inspired by? Was it some Al Jazeera or some other offshoot Inspire site online? What was it? Some sort of Al Qaeda thing? No. CNN, MSNBC, mainstream media. Yeah, that's what inspired that guy to run through the D.C. Hilton with a firearm, running through security, trying to shoot at the President of the United States through armed security. Was he a teacher of the year or something like that? Otherwise, a very intelligent individual. Right? Went to college. Smart guy, huh? He's probably watching all of his favorite people like Van Jones and what's her name? Abby Phillip. Huh? All those smart people like Rachel Maddow and Lawrence what's his name? Lawrence O'Donnell. I don't know what his name is. Yes, MS Now. Oh, BS Now. Good one, Deb. Yeah, he was probably listening to all of those people. The fact checkers. Brian Stelter, John King, Dana Bash, Jake Tapper. Huh? All the eggheads in the real news. Clearly wasn't radicalized by those crazy Republicans at Fox. Right? That's who ran into the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And then the president leaves you in the lurch, says, "Bye, suckers." I'm going to get on this catering truck. What do you got over here? Wait a minute, is that kosher chocolate? I've never had that. I'm sorry. I wish I could care. I just don't. And again, I know the press, Bob is right. The press barely made a mention of it, but other news media talking about the president left them on the plane. Yeah, he sure did. That's right. The View made him do it, Michael A. says. That's right. Sonny Houston, Houston. That's who did it. It's funny how the guy who ran through there looks just like her son. Similar. Let's get our first check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's here. He is in a BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. How we doing, sir? All right. First half down, second half underway. Reese on the radio. When we return, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey signs a new law removing all gestational limits on abortion. We'll compare that to how people feel about the babies in Palestine, weirdly enough. what's going on here with the babies in America pales in comparison to what they care about in Palestine. We'll talk about that. Also, Vin Candelara has a response to Stephanie Thomas's letter, which I read earlier. We'll recap that in the next hour or so as well. Mark Christopher's back. He's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, sir.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I gotta be honest, I don't really like the social media space. I do it well. I mean, I have over the years gotten better at it, but I don't get the whole. Can I ask you a question, Roland, real quick? If people friend you on Facebook, and let's say, I'll give you a perfect example. So someone just friended me on Facebook, and every day I have at least 10 to 12 new people asking for a friend request or sending me a friend request because, so many videos have gone viral.
Yep.
But I will take like a person who's here. I'm not going to say their name online. So they've got 24 friends and no posts. I won't friend that person. I will not accept that.
Neither will I. That's not.
You will delete that.
That's like a bot or like a person with a burner account or something trying to be able to talk trash to you.
Yeah, and like I completely reject that. I see that a lot on these things, and I'm like, if your account is real, like if you have very minimal posts, like if you're going to have to send me a personal message to say, hey, by the way, this is real. I just don't want people at my office to know. And I don't mind. Thank you so much for, asking for the request and stuff like that. But I'm really, really touchy about the people that I become, friends with or associated with on Facebook and the social media stuff. I'm not eager like that. I'm not thirsty, as the kids would say. So I just wanted to know, because you're a little younger. And you'll see something like that, and you'll immediately delete them or reject them.
Yeah. I just get them out of there.
Okay. All right. That's a good thing to know.
Yeah, I'm not a famous person like you, though. So
I don't. Okay. All right. I'm not famous.
So your acceptance is going to be a little different than mine. Yeah, obviously you're not going to accept those.
Yeah.
But I would say for the most part, you should be accepting as many as possible.
Yeah, I try to. I do. I mean, I'll admit, when I first started at WTIC, I can say, let me look at this number here quick. When I first got here, I was at just over 2,500 followers. Yeah, I guess you could use it. About 2,500. Okay? In the last 8-9 months now, we're currently at 8.8 thousand.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's great. And that's my personal page. The Reese on the Radio page started at about 2,000, and now that's sitting well above 5,000-6,000. So there's a lot. And my videos don't come short. Like this show, we would get an average of viewers would be in and around 250 a day on Facebook. Yeah. One page. Now both pages, which of course airs the show live, now sit at about 1,800 a day of people who are viewing it. So clearly we know that people are paying attention. We love that. Thank you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Your interest in a 4-hour show means everything. And people go back who can't listen to the show live. They go back to it during their day and listen to it on their drive or whatever the case may be. So we love it.
Yeah, you're a celebrity, man. You're a celebrity.
Stop it.
You're a celebrity, man.
Just stop it.
Big time guy here.
Shush. Go away now. Make me uncomfortable. Anyway, so as I told you earlier, we were with the boy in Boston, and he loves a debate. I love debating him. And he's always talking about Israel, as all the kids do now. Everybody hates Israel. They just do. It's a way of belonging now with the socialist left. I hate Israel not as much as I do, and that Bibi Netanyahu, war criminal. Yeah, it's the usual. So talking to the boy, as he's spouting off nonsense that I know he got from another one of his idiot friends, I sit there and I laugh at him as he presents it as all-knowing. Sure, kid. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. There's no way I know anything about the conflict in Israel against Gaza. You tell me more. But as he's trying to bring up this point about the genocide, I laugh at this because it's weird how 2.5 million people aren't just wiped off the face of the earth. Like, that should be easy. I mean, by today's standard, it would probably be difficult to eliminate 2.5 million people in the 40s, the 50s, maybe even the 60s. But in the 2026s, 2.5 million people, we can't seem to get rid of that pesky number, huh? I tried to explain that to him. 2.5. I asked him a question, kind of apples to oranges, but in the same way, we're talking about death count. I said in the late 90s and early 2000s, there were more black babies aborted than born in the state of New York. That would diminish the population of African Americans in New York at an alarming rate. More black babies aborted than born in the state of New York. Would you consider that a genocide? And he said no. I said, okay, that's all right, fine. I said, what's the population growth of Palestinians? Well, he didn't know. So I sat there and said, get on it. Find out. Because you would probably find that there were more people being killed in Gaza, in the Gaza Strip, in the West Bank, clearly more than are being born. He didn't like his answer. Because those folks are breeding like weeds compared to what's happening in the African American community. Yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt. Yet use the word genocide, knowing damn well it's inflammatory and factually inaccurate. What other part bothers me in all of this and talking about genocide, they always want to talk about the babies, the poor babies. Don't you care about the dead babies? My response is no. I don't. Absolutely not. I don't care. You don't. You care more about the babies in the Gaza Strip than you do in your own country. Case in point, Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, the governor signed a legislation on Monday that changes the rules for abortions at 24 weeks or later. The old law, an abortion after 24 weeks was allowed only if the physician deemed it necessary to preserve the patient, the mother's life, the physical health or the mental health, or because of lethal fetal anomaly, or a grave fetal diagnosis showing the baby was incompatible with sustained life outside the uterus without extraordinary medical interventions. But not no more. No. Now, the whole thing is flipped on itself. The new law, which is H5595, strikes those conditions. It now states that an abortion may be performed by a physician based upon the professional judgment of the physician. It also blocks any medical review process from overriding that judgment and the patient's decision. The change takes effect in 90 days. Massachusetts became the 10th state without a written gestational age limit on abortion. This includes Alaska, Colorado, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, and Vermont. And don't forget the District of Columbia. State data shows that 99 abortions at 24 weeks or later in Massachusetts in 2024, And that is up from 84 the year before. Oh, and by the way, this flies in the face of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, ending abortion as we know it. Those numbers have been on the rise since the Dobbs decision. Just so you know. You notice they don't even talk about that anymore. Right? You notice that? Yeah. It's difficult to talk about something you ended up failing miserably at as a fact. The official framing of this, Healy and his advocates have repeatedly called this health care and healthcare decisions between the woman and her doctors. And they cite rare, heartbreaking late diagnosis. That language is designed to make the change sound narrow and compassionate, which in essence says, what if the woman finds out late during her pregnancy that the child is ill? Here's what they're really trying to say, is that if the woman should decide right up until the date of birth, I don't want a kid. I just got this new job. I'm going to travel. This kid's only going to weigh me down. The mental anguish that will be on my person is just too much to bear. Get rid of it. You know that's the case, folks. Come on, it's no excuse abortions. It's birth control now. Now, I don't know what sick woman would be that far into her pregnancy and actually have an abortion up until, like, we're talking 9 months, where she would then decide. It would almost seem incredibly odd. Only a sick, twisted individual at that point. I want to really believe this from the bottom of my heart, folks. I really want to believe this. And anyone who disagrees, please, women, especially women, call me up, 860-522-9842. Call me up. I want to hear from you. I couldn't imagine, again, having never been pregnant, okay? But I couldn't imagine a woman 8 months in, rubbing that belly, maybe, doing the walk where she's tired, can barely get up out of seats. She's eating god-awful things, pickles and pralines and cream, ice cream, all the crazy stuff, the cravings, the wake up, the morning sickness, all of it with the big giant belly. Feeling the baby kick at 8 months and then turning around and going, nah. I just think that's crazy. That isn't to say that what Massachusetts did isn't alarming. It's not like it doesn't need review. I just find few people in my walk of life, I find it rare, if not odd, for a woman at that stage in her pregnancy, not feeling a bond with that life in her belly. I mean, it couldn't get more real. I'll tell a weird story, but some guys will understand this. Some women might think it's a little weird, but it just is. I'm saying this because I'm just being honest, but there are some guys out there who know exactly what I'm talking about. So one time I was at Costco with my ex-wife, and when we were still together, and there was this one woman who was wearing an orange one-piece dress, and it was obviously a pregnancy dress, but she was beautiful. I know for a fact when she wasn't pregnant, she had the stature and the look of a supermodel who was pregnant. And when I say she was pregnant, she was pregnant. I mean, seriously, I'll put it into, if she was stuffed with helium, she would be a balloon. She would float away. But she was huge in the belly. But she walked by, and I couldn't stop staring at her. She was beautiful. It was like, dare I say, gorgeous. Standing there with her husband and their little daughter and looking at her, and I was just going, that is like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like she was gorgeous pregnant. Absolutely stunning. It's the weirdest thing. And you can see, like, couldn't wait. Husband happy, wife happy, kid happy. Looked like the kid couldn't wait. I'm going to get a brother or a sister. It was just picture perfect. And I look at that and I just go, you are walking around with this child in you, and there's no way you could tell me you are not saying, I can't wait to get this thing out of me. But if there's none of that, like you don't have a personal bond with that person. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Men can get pregnant, Reese. You still got time. Shut up, Rama. I'm just saying. Not that this isn't worth having a conversation about, but I just can't imagine a woman going that many months, 7 months, having that child, belly out to here, and going, nah, I'm not interested. Crazy. Mark Christopher's back. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, stand by. In a little bit, we're going to talk about the back and forth between House Minority Leader Vin Candelara and Stephanie Thomas. This letter back and forth is really impressive. Just wait. I'm going to read it to you in the next hour. I have all three letters that have prompted this exchange. Vin Candelara has volleyed back to Stephanie Thomas's recent letter. And you're going to, it's amazing how this is going on and nobody's catching it in the news media. It is a very good story, especially between these two. You guys are missing something, but that's okay. You'll catch up. When you do, it'll be like, all right, I'm already done with that. It's like, it's amazing to watch this stuff unfold. So stand by for that. Also, music news. I've got a question for Mark Christopher in music news, and he's going to set it up. He's already set it up for us in that break. Dr. Fauci, that piece of work. I got to cover his stuff tomorrow with this pregnancy thing. Bill Ackerman, the financier, billionaire guy, put out a tweet, I think, was it? A post yesterday, if not this morning, talking about how his wife had suffered multiple miscarriages when they both took the COVID vaccine. And he is really outraged about this new information with Fauci telling people that there was nothing wrong, saying that there were 2,000 pregnant women who were tested, and rumors about pregnant women and miscarriages were studied, and found out that he was having text message exchanges with the head of the CDC at the time, saying exactly the opposite. Like, how do you not get ticked off to that? I'll go so far as to say what AQ just said in the chat room. He said, Dr. Fauci, did he not commit genocide of American citizens? And, it's a great question because I can ask the boy that, because the boy was citing some 74,000 Gazans who were dead. We had 1 million. So what would he say to that? Great question, AQ. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher's back. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. You ready for my little quiz coming up at 5 o'clock?
Quiz at 5. Okay, I will.
You have both songs, right?
I do have both songs.
Okay, have you've heard them before, I would assume.
I haven't really heard.
You haven't heard the Rock on Tour song.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, to the phones we go. Let's get Bob, who's calling on his cell phone. How you doing, sir?
Okay, good. You're talking about pregnant women. Well, we got to mention AOC because she was on. She's short of Happy Meal. Didn't get the toy.
She was on this week with George Stephanopoulos. Jonathan Carl filled in.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know, but a few months ago she was on national TV, and she said she would never want to get pregnant with twins because she wouldn't want to be pregnant for 18 months. Okay, and they took it down. But I have a question for you, Reese.
Yeah, what do you got?
You think you can ask the Democrats on TIC radio if they can give me the number of illegals that voted in this primary the last few days?
You know, I hope that we can find out, because absentee balloting is going to have to go through the mail system. And we'll see whether or not the Trump administration is as serious as they say they are about these absentee ballots.
Well, they put a lawsuit in today about the 250 feet also.
Yeah,
and that's a joke. I mean, that's so the ICE and law enforcement, ICE mostly, can't go and do their job and get the illegals out of here.
Yeah. And again, I'm still trying to figure out if there's anything that would be the soft bigotry of low expectations to suggest that law enforcement would make legal Hispanics feel threatened by law enforcement. Like, in essence, there was something inherently suspicious going on in the Hispanic community that when they see cops around, they won't vote. I don't understand it at all. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Bob. Lori is on the line. Hello, Lori.
Hey there, Reese. So just to get back to this whole infanticide bill that they just passed in Massachusetts, because let's just call it what it is.
It is.
Well, now we are legislating it to be okay to murder babies.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wrap my brain around how they justify that. And then when someone shoots a pregnant woman and the baby dies, then it's considered a double murder.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of ethical pretzel have these people gotten themselves into that there really is no way out of? I'm absolutely sick and heartbroken, and they better not bring this crap to Connecticut.
I hope they don't.
I will be on them like white on rice, because this is not I'm sorry I'm ranting, but my mother was selfless enough to carry me to term and allow me to have life. How selfish could you possibly be to carry a baby to full term and then be okay with it dying? That you can't even allow a couple who struggles to get pregnant, who struggles with infertility, you can't even have the decency to put the baby up for adoption if you don't want it? I'm sorry. I know I'm sounding really, really harsh, but come on. There's got to be a line in the sand.
Yeah. I would expect it as much, but can I tell you the part that I find scarier than anything? It's the row of women who sat behind the Massachusetts governor.
Oh, I know. I know.
With smiles on their faces. Do you know when's the last time I saw that much disdain for a human life or a baby? Do you know when's the last time I saw that? Every black father on Maury Povich who found out that he was the father. That's the way I looked at it. It sounds mean. It might even sound racial, but I don't care, because never in my life have I seen that kind of. So those two times in my life that I've seen disdain for a human life is in those moments, because it's nasty. It's disgusting.
I can't imagine how you justify that. How you possibly think that's a good idea. How far gone are you? I mean, and thank you, Jesus, that no one is too far gone for him to be able to reach them. And I will pray for their salvation. But you're so lost and so demonically charged that you have no understanding of what it is that you're accepting and embracing in this moment.
Yeah.
It is better for a millstone to be tied around your neck than to hurt a little one. And I'm sick over it. I'm absolutely sick over it.
Yeah. It is selective reasoning on every part. It's because in one breath, they can talk about, like I said, talking to the boy. In one breath, he can use the babies as a cudgel to make his point about genocide in the Middle East, but at the same time show absolutely nowhere near the same compassion for a child in its third trimester. A child that could survive outside of the womb. Absolutely no interest in that baby's life. None. The selective.
I'm sorry, but if they try to bring that crap here, can we get together an army?
Yeah, there has to be a legal precedent to stop that. It's got to be. There has to be, beyond a shadow of a doubt, or at least force a referendum on it. Leave it to the voters. That's what I would say. Leave it to the voters and put it on a ballot and let the state decide at least, and see if we can rally enough troops to just stop it from happening. But it cannot happen the same way that legislation has been happening in Connecticut as of late. It just cannot. Agreed. Thank you, Lori. I'm just as outraged as you. But I have hope. That much I have.
Well, I wish you need to share some of it with me, because as an adoptee, I'm absolutely gutted. I'm gutted.
We can always pray. That's that part we can do.
Amen. That's true. Amen.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, sir.
You got it. All right. White Mike is in the house. Are we going to talk about the Are we going to talk about the WNBA again?
Just for a minute, yeah. So tonight, the Indiana Fever play the New York Liberty tonight. This is Sophie's first game back after getting clothesline and chokeslams.
In New York.
And if I were coaching, tonight's the night that we feed Sophie the 3-ball and she gets 40 points.
Now, hold on. Somebody posted on X yesterday that the coach had been fired for not standing up for or sticking up for Sophie and sticking up for Dejanay. Of course, as soon as I saw it, I would know that's not true. They would never fire her because of that. But I do understand that the coach is getting some backlash for this.
Well, the lieutenant governor said she should be fired, and
really?
The attorney general in Florida said if Dejanay did that here, she goes to jail.
Yeah.
So things are getting serious. But let's change the subject, man. We've talked about too much basketball. Go Fever. I saw two stories recently out of the Carolinas. One was a guy, you saw the video, the crazy black guy walking around beating on women.
Yes.
Saying, remember my son Elijah? And that dude he's been in out of jail like 40 times or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday a story came out about some woman in North Carolina who honked at a guy at a green light, and he got out and beat her half to death with a baseball bat.
Yes.
And now both of these incidents involve black men.
That's correct. Tell everybody the punchline in all of this.
What's the punchline?
Didn't one of them get out on like a ridiculous amount of bail?
Oh, yeah. The guy who did all the assaults has been in that jail a whole bunch. The guy who just did the beating, I don't know about.
Okay.
But I have a solution to this. We have hate crime laws in this country.
Sure enough, do. Yes.
So I think it's time for a federal law that says any time someone's a victim of interracial crime, the person who committed the crime gets charged with a hate crime.
Perhaps I thought that was the whole point. I thought that was the whole point of hate crime legislation.
It only works one way. It doesn't work if black people attack Asians. It doesn't work if black people attack white people. It only works if white people somehow attack black people. And we all know that's very rare because white people don't want to go to jail over black people. We've all seen the Boondocks.
Yeah.
We know what's up.
Yeah, and it's true. The survival rate going into jail having beaten up a black person, that survival rate is very, very low. You know?
Very low.
They're very low. Because you're going to end up in a prison that is overwhelmingly, as many of these, activists say, is overwhelmingly black. The survival rate for you, and forget about it, you're going to have to stay in protective custody most of the time.
Dude, I am much like Tom from the Boondocks.
Yeah.
I saw the movie Penitentiary when I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
And I never want to go to prison because I saw it. And then I watched Oz for a bit, and it really strengthened my ability to be a law-abiding citizen.
That's a scared straight program if I ever saw one.
Absolutely. I don't want to be a Maytag. Anyway, man, I'm just done. I'm so tired of the media not covering these things.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if some white guy was going around beating up Shaniquas, the absolute media storm it would be?
In fact, they would then exacerbate the rate of which those attacks happen. they would inflate those numbers just to tell us, calling it an epidemic.
you'll look at Chip and Skyler beating up Shaniqua and Nene. It doesn't happen. So I'm just done, man. I'm over it. All I got going right now is basketball and cheap beer.
Cheap
beer. Me through it.
Well, good luck.
By the way, a new beer called Outlaw Light, which is going nationwide. It's some craft brewer bought a cheap beer. It's not bad, dude. It tastes like expensive beer for $10 a 12-pack. So go on, people.
Outlaw beer. All right, thank you, Mike. As always.
You're welcome, man.
Have a good one. That boy is absolutely not. Last but not least for this hour, let me go to Paul the chemist, who's on the line. How are you, Paul?
I'm fine, Reese. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, sir. How are you?
I am fine. I've got two things for you.
Yes, sir.
Stephanie Thomas. It was reported probably by Newsweek, Newsmax. She had a ROVAC meeting, which is of all the people that do the voting and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay. All the town clerks, and during that ROVAC meeting, it was 3 or 4 months ago. She used Nazi images to describe the situation, and also she went after Trump, and it so upset these town clerks, both Democrat and Republican. So look up that ROVAC meeting.
Okay,
I mean, that's totally unprofessional.
No way. Are you serious? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna look that up. What was the other thing?
The other thing is you just had mentioning about pro-life and people getting upset with Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Look up. There are plenty of organizations, not only Catholic but Christian and even atheists, who you need to join one. Give them some money, and you can get an army under the Reese banner. And I'm glad you're bringing up the hypocrisy of morality when it comes to babies in this country, including tourism babies that get born from illegals or people in there. And then we have aborted 63 million babies, and of that, 48% are black.
Yeah.
And so, the black people, they're getting the shaft.
Absolutely. 100%. And again, not 1 ounce of concern while screaming genocide there. And let's go one step further. In this country, talking about the opportunities of African Americans lost here. African Americans in the country can't even survive in the womb in this country because of the plight of folks like Planned Parenthood, an organization that it started by a woman who was a eugenic who thought that black people were undesirables. Which, again, think about that, right? You can never forget the atrocities of slavery, but you can forget about the advent of Planned Parenthood and Margaret Sanger. Like one is more recent than the other.
And Planned Parenthood was good friends, Margaret Sanger, with the head Nazi, Hitler.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Thank you for that reminder. I appreciate you, Paul.
No problem.
Have a great day.
Take care.
You got it. All right, music news coming up soon. We'll take some more phone calls, so stand by for that. We will get to you. Let me see. I've got to talk about, what did I have here? Oh, we'll talk about this back and forth, this letter exchange between Stephanie Thomas and Vin Candelara. I've got all the letters here, so I will read those to you. Also, what do I have here? William Tong got shut down. $7.7 million fine that was against a Florida gun maker. That got shut down by a judge. Also, Dallas restaurant refuses alcohol over marijuana smell. I didn't know this, but I just found this out the hard way. So apparently in Texas, you cannot serve alcohol to a person who smells like weed. I think I'm on board with this one. I think I am. Stand by for that and much, much more. And plus your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Mark Christopher's back. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. You know the drill. News. Happy birthday goes out to Ben Gibbard, the lead singer and guitarist of Death Cab for Cutie and the Postal Service. I actually like both of those bands. He turns 50 years old. Andy Bell, the bassist for Oasis and the founding member of Ride, turns 56. See, I can hear John Silva. I can hear him. See, I told you. I don't know why, but I can hear him. Ali Shaheed Muhammad, who was the DJ and producer for A Tribe Called Quest, one of my favorite groups. You're younger than me. Anna Leo turns 56 today. Charlie Sexton, who is the guitarist, singer, and songwriter for longtime Bob Dylan collaborator, turns only 58. Joe Jackson, of course, is the singer and songwriter who is known for Is She Really Going Out With Him and the song Stepping Out. He turns 72. For a long time, it was believed that Joe Jackson was the inspiration to Carly Simon's You're So Vain. Anyway, in this day in music, in 1956, Elvis Presley released the double-sided single Don't Be Cruel and Hound Dog, which dominated the charts for 11 weeks. In 1962, Neil Sedaka reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 with Breaking Up Is Hard to Do. In 1964, the Beatles' first feature film, A Hard Day's Night, premiered in the United States. And in 1979, Led Zeppelin played their final concert on English soil at the Knebworth Festival before more than 200,000 fans. And a friend and personal friend, Cool DJ Herc, hosted a back-to-school party in the Bronx on the corner of Sedgwick and Cedar in 1973. It is known and credited as the birthplace of hip-hop on this day in 1973. Anyway, we'll get to weather and traffic. Yeah, we are going to weather and traffic with Mark Christopher, who's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Now, Mark, it is Joe Jackson's birthday.
That's
right.
And
I know you have the music queued up.
Yes,
so
I do.
play for me, if you will, the beginning of the Joe Jackson song, Is She Really Going Out With Him?
So you want to write it at the beginning?
I want it right at the beginning.
You got it.
It sounds like this. Now, there's a bass line coming up on this song.
Listen to the bass line.
Here it is. Okay, now, stop. Now, the Rock on Tours, headed by Jack White of the White Stripes, he's the lead singer, I believe, of that, had a song called Steady As She Goes.
From politics to news to music to movies and anything above the sun and outer space and beyond, it's Reese on the radio. Damn, he's good. Only on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Reese on the radio. Let's, let me get through the phones real quick. Tony is back. What's going on, sir?
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. What up?
Good. Let me give props to Roland. He's a good dude, man. He gave me a follow-up to not leave me hanging.
Well, I told him to give you an opportunity to come back because we were kind of in the middle of stuff, so I didn't want to leave you hanging there too long. What do you got for me today?
Yeah. All right. Let me just throw out 2 quick points. I had told you in the past I have a good coworker friend who's black. Mm-hmm. I'm white, but he's a great kid. He's like 24 years old.
Oh, kid
indeed.
The
other black people that rank on him at work because he talks clean,
proper.
You know what I mean, and not
he's clean and
proper.
articulate.
And I'm so happy, dude. I'm so happy for him because I said the best thing any African American do is to get off the Democratic plantation.
Yeah,
and look out for yourself, man. Number 1, we come into this world alone, we go out alone, and I love that so much.
Yeah,
and I am so happy when I see somebody succeed and stay on entitlements and handouts and pity, which the Democratic Party pitches out there for votes, and it's disgusting to me. To me, that's suppression, oppression, offensive. You can't get any more racist than that. I mean, I hope the general public, dude, and your listeners really take this in because that's.
You can't curse. I got to let you go. I'm sorry about that. Sorry. Got comfortable. Just happens when you get comfortable. What's up, Jim? What's going on, sir?
I'll tell you, I'm all fired up with innocent babies being murdered. Talk about barbarism.
Yeah.
You know, the Bible says no one is to take innocent blood, and they are the most innocent. And whether they believe it or not, they'll stand in front of God someday, them and the so-called doctors.
Why not? You know what I never understood, Jim? Why not promote abstinence? Like, that's all you can do. This idea, because the opposite side of that, you will talk about that, and these people will say, well, people are going to have sex. And I'm like, yes, but we have to have a society that understands that those things have consequences, right?
Yeah.
Pregnancy comes with that. Don't separate them like a person, becomes pregnant, like a person gets cancer. It's not the same thing.
No, it's human life.
Yeah.
Well, evil is running through this country.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's running rampant. But this is kind of the lot in life that we have. We have to accept the fact that people do have free will. But again, as I said to Lori, I'm holding out hope that there are people who will look at that, especially women, who will feel that child in them at 24 weeks, maybe even earlier, will feel that child in their belly and have a connection. I believe that we all have, at least to some degree, a human connection. Even liberals do. They have to, right? They have some association with the people that they, sort of idealize or they share their ideological views with. They have some sort of human connection with them. So I can only hope that resonates.
Baby's in your belly for 8 or 9 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Twins for that life.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I couldn't imagine you not making a connection with that life, having been there. And I believe this. I'll tell you this thing that I say. It's interesting because I really do believe this. A friend of mine says there are 4, but I believe there are 3. But I'll argue that there are 4 for him. There are 3 things in the world that you instantaneously fall in love with as a person. And that is your pet. When you get a dog, you automatically fall in love with your dog. Your first car. I don't know why, but everyone does. When you get your first car, you automatically fall in love with it. You keep it clean. You don't want anybody touching it. You love it because it is your mode of transportation. It is personal to you. And last but not least, and probably the most important, is your child.
Yes.
Now the 4th one they say is food, but I don't believe in that. Not everybody always falls in love with food. But I believe those 3 things you instantaneously fall in love with, having never been introduced to them before.
Yeah.
So
but it just shows you how evil it's getting. We got evil coming from all directions in this country.
Yeah, and it's selfish. That's really what it is. If you look at what these women are promoting, it is absolute selfishness. Because it's what about my life? What about my future? What about my? Well, once you go down that road and you do that thing, someone else gets involved. Sorry, some people don't, but in your case, if you're pregnant...
And they will face the Lord someday, though. All of us will.
Yeah, we all do. Indeed.
And so-called doctors. They're not doctors. They're butchers.
Yeah, that's another story I can go down, but that'll wait till later. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Take care.
You got it. Let's go to Pete. What's going on, Pete?
Good afternoon, Reese. I don't know. I kind of love pizza, so I guess maybe there's 4.
Well, okay, I said food. Food is kind of like the kind of the 4th.
Hey, look, a quick hitter on this Sophie Cunningham thing.
Yeah.
I can't understand why people aren't just so sick and tired of this story. There's a pitcher who used to pitch for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'll try to cut this short. His name was Don Drysdale. And during a interview, the reporter asked him, "Hey, Mr. Drysdale," he said, "why is it that whenever you pitch, the opposing pitcher never hits any of your players?" And he said, "Well, because the opposing pitcher knows that if he hits one of my guys, I'm going to hit 2 of their guys.
Yeah.
And if he hits 2 of my guys, I'm going to hit 4 of their guys."
Yeah. It's the Chicago way.
So until, the Fever, decides that they're going to go out there and they're going to start throwing elbows and taking people out, nothing is going to change.
Indeed.
Nothing is going to change.
It's really real. You know what? Sadly, you are right. In sports, it is one of those things that we have to get used to. I remember, I'm sure you do remember. Do you remember that famous bout that happened between Alex Rodriguez versus Roger Clemens?
Yeah,
You remember that? It was an all-out brawl. It was what was his name? Marriott, what was was it Zimmer? Who ran up there, the old man?
Well, that was Pedro, right?
Pedro. Yeah, but that was all during that melee.
Exactly.
Right, it was all during that melee. But again, that's the way it's supposed to happen. You stand up for your players. When they go through that kind of assault, you let them know, yeah, there are going to be some suspensions. Sure, there are going to be some fines. But you let those folks know you're not going to take that stuff lying down. Play right or pay the consequences.
Well, absolutely, because that's family. And no one's going to do that to your family member, right? If someone does that to your family member, you're going to go after them.
Indeed.
So, again, you would never see that happen in the men's league.
Nope.
Right? Or you would never say. You remember the
Detroit against Indiana? Never will I. I mean, everybody paid that day.
You better believe it. Bill Lambier, man, you didn't want him up on your butt.
Man,
that's for sure.
I remember that. I was living here in Connecticut, in Manchester, watching that fight as it unfolded. Indiana's still stewing because they had a shot at the title, and their whole life went into the toilet. Their whole career, their whole season went to the toilet behind that Ron Artest mess.
Yeah, well, stick up for your own, or else it's not going to change. And let's hope that that's a lesson learned, because it's getting to be kind of tiresome.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you, buddy.
You got it.
You got it. Okay, let me read these real quick, and then I'll get to some of the other phone calls afterwards. So, real quick, this is what happened. Vin Candelara, House Minority Leader, sent this letter to Anthony Policeto. He is the Election Information Security Analyst. He said, I would like to bring to your attention to the public statements made by the Connecticut Secretary of the State, Stephanie Thomas. They are directly contradicted by a New Britain Police Department report, which remained posted on her official social media accounts without correction. Following the deaths of Officer Cooper Whiteside and Brittany Islami, a Danbury Police Department arrest warrant application misidentified the suspect's address as belonging to Melissa Esperanza Ramirez of New Britain, a different woman than the actual suspect who resides in Stamford. In response, Secretary Thomas issued a public statement and social media post asserting that the New Britain woman had been receiving death threats as a result of this misidentification. The New Britain Police Department supplementary report gives the case number on August 4th, documents officers making a direct contact with the New Britain Melissa Ramirez, who told them in person that she had not been receiving death threats, nor is being harassed. That was the letter by Vin Candelara in part. What happened? Did he get a letter back from Anthony Policeto? No. Stephanie Thomas responded to him. She wrote a letter that says, thank you for reaching out regarding the video statement released by our office. I respectfully dispute the fact that I shared false information. As shared in the endorsed sampling of screenshots, an innocent Connecticut resident was wrongfully linked to the crime she had no part in, doxed and exposed in hostile commentary that included numerous calls for her death. She just because the woman is unaware of these threats does not make them untrue. That's the letter she sent to them yesterday, which then prompted Vin Candelara to write this letter today to the Honorable Stephanie Thomas. Dear Secretary Thomas, I am writing to express my respectful confusion as to why I received a response from you on this matter. My correspondence was addressed directly to Anthony Policeto, the individual employed by your office as responsible for identifying disinformation and misinformation related to Connecticut election administration. As such, I expected to receive a response from him. Instead, I received an automated reply from his office and a separate letter from you, which raises more questions than it answers. Yeah, In essence, why would a letter addressed to Pollicito end up in the hands of the Secretary of the State, who would then respond to him? My letter sought Mr. Pollicito's professional opinion in his role, colloquially referred to as the misinformation czar. In an effort to avoid a back and forth with your office on this matter, since you have chosen to inject yourself into my inquiry, I have no choice but to respond to your claims directly. Regarding the social media post our caucus made on July 29th, you asserted that it initially helped propagate the false link between those two unrelated individuals. I find this characterization difficult to reconcile with the post itself, which made no mention of New Britain or the arrest warrant application release, the driving and voting history of the individual in police custody. You had provided that information at the time. It likely would have prevented much of the misinformation that spread in the days that followed, he writes. As for the evidence you provided to support your claim that the misidentified woman in New Britain received death threats, the posts you cited are extreme and unfortunate, but they are directed at the individual in police custody, not at her. I agree the New Britain woman should be left alone, and by her own account, she has been, aside from some persistent journalists. Your attempt to retroactively justify your office's comments has raised further questions, which I would ask that you answer directly. 1. Upon learning of death threats you now say were directed at the New Britain woman rather than the individual in police custody, what steps did your office take to ensure those threats were reported to the appropriate authorities? And second, since July 24th of 2026, what specific actions has Mr. Pollicito's office taken to correct the record or reduce the spread of misinformation on this matter? More on this when we get back. Stand by. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
All right, Reese on the Radio back. Don't forget, always go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com or go to WTIC.com. Download the Odyssey app so you'll never miss a moment of this show and the others on this very network. Also, on Friday, don't forget, live broadcast. Myself, Joey Burgoyne. I haven't heard. Boss Lady's going to be there for a little bit. Some other staffers here at not WTIC, at Odyssey. Actually, some people over at Hot 93.7. Maybe even over at the FM will come on by. I know I invited everybody to meet me at Stadium 15 for a live broadcast from 2 to 6. And then we'll be hanging out afterwards. There may not be karaoke. I thought there would be, but I don't think that. It's one of those things where you ask people, hey, let's do karaoke. And then you find out nobody knows anyone with a karaoke machine. So they may have been a little in over their head, but that's okay. It's all right. We are going to figure it out. We got live broadcasts. We got plenty of stuff to do and plenty of stuff to enjoy while we're there. Also, you can, grab a drink, grab some food there at Stadium 15. My good friend and owner of the Stadium 15, Dana Fortin, will be there. I think Pete will be there as well, and a bunch of other folks who are friends of mine. So please come on by. Again, from 2 to 6, you can come in at any time. And even if you can't be there during the broadcast, come afterwards, because I'm going to hang out there until my bedtime. Roughly about 9:30. That is my bedtime. It sounds mean, but I'm just an early bird. 9:30 comes around and I'm starting nodding off. I'm literally that guy sitting on my phone, nodding off. I get up really early and I'm up through most of the day. I get my 18 hours in, probably a little less than that. I'm up at 6. Yeah, I'm up at 6. And trust me, it's a long day. It is a long day. Once 9:30 rolls around, that's it. I'm spent. I'm absolutely spent. I don't know these people who are up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. What is wrong with you people? There's nothing to do that late. Who lives at that hour? That's an ungodly hour. No. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, there's nothing open. It's dark. It's like the real dark. It's like absolute dark.
No, 7-Eleven is open. You can still get a Slurpee at 3 in the morning.
I'm moving on to somebody who can reasonably understand what I'm talking about. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Mark, bedtime for you. Please don't tell me 11.
Usually after the Red Sox, if I'm still awake. So I would say
average bedtime.
I would say 10:30.
Oh my goodness, you guys gotta live, man.
No, applaud that man. Applaud him. Reasonable hour.
Well,
2 a.m. is a good bedtime.
That's insanity.
But the alarm goes off at 10 after 5.
See?
Okay,
you
yeah,
see?
well,
That's why I do too.
That makes it different.
That's right. Yeah, Roland, who rolls out of bed roughly like 11 o'clock.
Well, he's got that afternoon shift, though, so he can.
No, I got a morning gig.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What time are you getting up in the morning?
Like 6:30.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to bed at 2?
Yeah. He's a young person. He's like a rubber band. That's going to end. You're going to crash and burn, my friend. You're going to crash and burn.
I get a good 4 hours.
Oh, man.
4.5 hours.
How can you do that? I couldn't. Even when I was young, I couldn't do 4 hours.
Oh, man. Come on, man.
That's okay.
Wow.
Crash and burn. Can't wait for it, kid.
Wow, Roland, you're an unbelievable specimen because I need. You know what? For me, if I get 7 hours, I'm good. But I very rarely get 7 hours.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, that is a wrap for us as we're about to get up out of here. Thank you all for joining the program today, this Tuesday. Tonight, I've got to do a podcast out in Waterbury. I'm going to do that. And then tomorrow, I am going to be doing John Bolton's Social Justice Forum in Manchester. I'll tell you guys all about that on Thursday. And then on Friday, of course, is my 57th birthday. Yes, I know it's not a big birthday, but every birthday should count. And so we're holding it at, again, Stadium 15 from 2 to 6. I'll probably be there an hour early. And we're expecting Roland to show up.
I just want to shout out my Uncle Jose. He's turned 70 today.
All right. Hey.
The big 70. I said, I can finally call you an old man.
Well, you couldn't do it at 69?
No. 70, once you get 70 and up.
That's old man.
Yeah, that's old man.
That's a weird dynamic in your family. That's weird. So I don't get to be an old man until I'm 70?
No.
So 57, not there yet.
You're an OG, not an old man.
OG. Somebody said that at a certain point that you're referred to as Unk. I'm in Unk area right now.
No, you're in OG area. That's
I'm OJ? Really?
That's past Unk.
What is Unk then? Is that in the 40s? Are you at Unk?
No, I'm an older brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from once I get to I think it's 48, from 48 to 55.
Okay.
You're Unk.
Then you're Unk.
Yeah. Okay. Once you get past 55, then you're OG.
OG. That's me now at 57.
You're OG.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, somebody said, Matt Royce has official Unk status at 70. I guess. But
no, that's my real uncle.
Is it that your real uncle?
Yeah, that's my dad's brother.
Oh, okay. I don't even I know the kids have these different distinctions that you're supposed to be in. I just don't know. When the kids start calling me sir, that's what I'm like, I'm out. So I'll never forget, like his teenage boy said, "Excuse me, sir," and I just went, ugh. But I knew I want to be called sir.
Yeah, that's respect. I call everybody sir. I call people that's younger than me sir.
I called a young lady ma'am when I was in my 20s, and she was probably in her 20s as well. I said, "Excuse me, ma'am." And she stopped me and said, "Ma'am? I look like a ma'am to you?" I was like, "Is that offensive?" And she was like, "Absolutely." I'm like, "How?" I thought ma'am was just a term of respect for a female.
Yeah.
That's what I always thought.
For an old lady.
An old lady?
That's the way she felt. She felt like you were calling her old lady.
I refer to every lady as ma'am. I don't know why. I guess kind of like the old upbringing of my grandmother and my mom. You just refer to everybody as
I
ma'am.
got smacked up. You got smacked up if you didn't.
Yes, if you did, right?
If you didn't say yes, sir, or yes, ma'am.
But you know what I don't like, and I don't like the sound of it? I don't like the term miss.
Oh.
I don't like it.
So your teacher, would you call your teacher?
Mrs., or if it was Miss. It was always Mrs. or Miss with the name behind it.
Yeah.
But I will not refer to a woman not knowing her name. I would never refer to her as, I would never say, excuse me, Miss. I don't like it.
Okay. You don't like that. So you say ma'am instead of miss.
Yeah, I'll say ma'am. I'll say, excuse me, ma'am.
I think I've done both. I said, excuse me, miss.
Yeah, calling somebody miss to me almost seems like, ugh.
It's better than saying, hey, lady.
Yes. I will refer, I've done this. This is probably, women have hated when I've done this. But you have to understand why I do it. I think it's charming to do. So I'll be in a department store, and I'll be looking for an agent or somebody who works there. And I'll see another woman who might even be a little older than I am, or around my same age. She's also looking for an attendant. So I will find the person, and I will graciously say, you know what? This young lady's been here longer. Help her, I'll wait. So I'll use the phrase, this young lady. And the woman will look at me side-eyed in a way that says, but I'm older than you. Or something along that line. So we're the same age. But when I say it, and the reason why I say this young lady is that I never want to say this lady, this miss, this woman.
This old lady.
This old lady. This young lady would like your help first. And I think that it's sly, kind of sly, but it's almost complimentary.
Yeah, it is. I
You know what I mean?
It is.
I think when a woman hears that, they say, "Oh, thank you." Just the way.
Most.
Yeah, I believe that they would. So it's just the way in which I do it, and I'm never in a rush. I'll be in a department store or a supermarket if I need help, and someone else that needs help. I always graciously give it to the person, especially if it's a woman ahead of me. No, help her out. I can wait. I'm patient like that.
I always get older people going because if I'm hanging out, like if I'm at the bowling alley or I'm at a restaurant,
right,
and I'm around and talking to older people, I always say something like, just wait till you get my age, you'll see how hard it is. So that always get them going. Get your age.
That's actually kind of cool. I like that. It's just something that I do. So I hope to see plenty of you young ladies at our party because I know you want to see Roseanne, who almost didn't make it. Roseanne was almost not going to be there. She was going to take the boy to South Carolina because he is going into the Citadel on Saturday, and he has to be there at 5:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning on Saturday, the day after my birthday. So she almost didn't do the birthday party, but his father is going to take him.
Oh, nice.
So
I guess he has to step in at some point.
Yeah, well, he has been. But the interesting part is that she was going to go anyway, but then she found out that his father was going. And those two in a room on a trip together, it would not be well. It would not. No. They just can't be in a room together.
They don't want to get that old thing back.
No, absolutely not. Thank you. That was helpful and made me uncomfortable at the same time. No, they don't want to get that old. Matt is going, damn, Roland. No, and don't encourage him, Matt. Matt is a mess. He says, I remember Coach Carter. He called everyone sir, and when the kids questioned him, he said, are you a madam? I love that, too. That's a great line. Coach Carter.
Yeah, give me 1,000 suicides. I ought to quit that day. I'm out of here.
I don't know. Hey, I want to tell this story real quick before I get out of here. Okay, I cannot stand the smell of marijuana, and it is everywhere, folks. If you've been anywhere, you know that people smoke marijuana anywhere. I'm certain I've seen, I've been in places that you wouldn't even dream of. It's just a stench of marijuana, weirdest places. Well, in Dallas, a restaurant, waitress refused black customers alcohol because of it. There's a group of black customers at a place called Maroma. It's a coastal Mexican restaurant in Dallas, in the Dallas Design District. And they got into a confrontation with a manager there after they were told they could be no longer served alcohol. The manager said that she smelled marijuana. One of the diners, named Andrea Chantel, recorded the exchange and denied anyone in the group had smoked it. So she was posting this live on TikTok. Now, here's the crazy part. The woman, the manager there, was saying, I can't serve you alcohol if you have the smell of marijuana on you. But the woman who posted the thing on TikTok posted it with the words segregated. This person had to have been high because that's not what was happening. They weren't being segregated. They were being denied service. But why were they denied service? I didn't know this, but this is interesting. Under the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Code, Section 101.63, it's a misdemeanor for a person to sell an alcoholic beverage with criminal negligence to an intoxicated person. Penalties include a fine of $100 to $500, up to a year in jail, or both. And the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Code can suspend or cancel the license for public safety violations. This is under Texas Penal Code 4901, and it defines an intoxicated person as not having the normal use of mental or physical faculties because of alcohol, a controlled substance, a drug, or a combination of the two. And marijuana qualifies. So having smelled the marijuana on them, they are already under the influence. And out of concern that they would lose their license for further inebriating them, they denied them service. Well, I hope the people actually look this up, but that's the rule in Texas. And they are very strict about marijuana use because I don't think marijuana is legal in Texas. Because I don't smoke it, so I don't really know. I know people who smoke marijuana know all the laws. They seem to be quite versed in them. But yeah, so apparently this black group of friends were denied alcohol because they smelled of marijuana. They claim they didn't. I gotta tell you, I don't know if I believe them. I'm sorry, I just don't know if I believe them. I just don't. I'm just saying. Am I stereotyping? Probably. But I don't care. I just don't. Let's get Stevie V before I get out of here. What's up, buddy?
Okay, so I'm in my early 20s, out of school. Got my first real job inside sales for a manufacturing company.
Uh-huh.
So a little nervous. I'm at my vice president's office having a little conversation. He was into photography, has his picture on the desk, black and white.
Okay.
So I just glanced at it. I'm trying to make conversation. So it's a very nice picture. Is that your son? His lip starts to quiver. Well, actually, it's my wife. Now, to be fair, she had short haircut. She was very much a woman. Now, if you could picture Jane Hathaway without makeup, that was her.
He said, "Is that your son?"
So I said, "Well, listen, I really couldn't see well from the angle."
You don't say a word, Stevie. You back out of the room. You don't say a word. You quietly open up the door behind you. You just put your arm back there, grab the doorknob, and open it up, and you slink your behind out of there and never come back. If I were you, I would have quit.
Well, not for nothing. She was wearing a flannel shirt, black and white, had short hair, like I said. Picture Jane Hathaway with, short hair. And, but he never held it against me, and I think he knew.
He probably went home and said, "Honey, I'm going to need you to grow your hair, and we have to take another photograph." I did that to a woman on a bus in in Fairfax County. I got on a bus because I didn't have my car yet. And I'm in Fairfax County, and I get on the bus, and I didn't know if I was on the right bus. And I said, "Excuse me, sir, am I on the right bus?" And she looked at me. She turned her head, and she had a short haircut and looked at me. She said, "Sir?" And I went, and I immediately got defiant. And I said, How am I supposed to know with that haircut? I was so mad. I got indignant. So I'm like, that's your fault. I thought you were a guy.
So we're down Virginia Beach, right? A bunch of people out in the corner. This girl, blonde, had her hair really spiked up. A bunch of brothers on the corner says, "Yo, about that hairdo, you know what it needs? A hat."
That's cold. God bless you, Stevie.
All right, man.
You got it. Talk to you soon. Yeah, don't come to me with that male haircut and then blame me for misidentifying you. Short haircut. Not everybody looks like Tony Braxton, ma'am. Not everybody. Remember when Halle Berry had her hair all that short? Remember that? Mistake for her to grow her hair. She was the only woman who could wear that short hair bob and look as cute as she did. Only, like, what was that movie, Boomerang? Absolutely divine. That's the only time I ever saw a woman with a short haircut that looked damn good. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you here at 2 p.m. mañana. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Good night, sir.